The cameras flashed, the crowd froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession. Welcome to Starscope Report.
Join Jordan and Jamie as they uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today, we are doing a massive deep dive into a headline that you have probably seen absolutely everywhere. I mean, the topic of today's deep dive is basically Blake Lively just won again, and, well, what this means for Justin Baldoni.
Yeah, it is a truly wild story. I mean, we are synthesizing a huge stack of entertainment news reports today. Court documents, legal analyses from places like the Associated Press, TMZ, The Guardian.
And just to be super clear right up front, our goal here isn't to play judge and jury. We're not taking sides on these highly polarized allegations. We are just here to decode the really brutal legal and PR mechanics that both camps are using to try and claim victory.
Exactly. Because for most people, a legal settlement usually means the case is closed.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Right. But today, we're exploring why a May 2026 settlement between these two massive stars was actually just the opening bell for our brand new, incredibly petty and expensive legal war.
It's honestly fascinating because, to understand why Blake and Justin are still fighting tooth and nail over attorney fees in June 2026, we really have to understand how their relationship escalated from a movie set to a $400 million legal bloodbath.
A literal bloodbath. So let's lay out the background. It Ends With Us is the 2024 film adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel. And it was a massive commercial hit. I mean, it grossed over $350 million.
Huge. Just a runaway box office smash.
Completely. But behind the scenes, things were, well, they were a disaster.
Yeah, the sources detail a really specific timeline here. Lively accused Baldoni, who, remember, was her co-star and the film's director, of creating a hostile work environment and sexual harassment.
And the allegations were really specific.
They were. She claimed he improvised unscripted kisses during takes and made unwelcome comments about her cleavage and even made remarks after she admitted that she didn't watch pornography.
Right, and Baldoni fiercely denied all of this. His camp claimed that Lively basically made it all up to seize creative control of the film.
Which is such a massive accusation on its own. He didn't just issue a PR denial, right? He went totally nuclear.
Oh, yeah. He fired back with a massive $400 million defamation and extortion lawsuit against Lively and her husband, Ryan Reynolds.
And then she countersued. So suddenly you have these two huge Hollywood heavyweights locked in a federal case. But wait, I have a question about the legal details in our sources here.
Sure, what's up?
If she was claiming sexual harassment on a major movie set, why did a judge throw her claims out earlier this year? Like, did he decide she was lying?
No, it wasn't about the truth of the claims at all. U.S. District Judge Louis J. Lehman actually dismissed Lively's sexual harassment claims weeks before the settlement because of a technicality.
A technicality?
Yeah.
Over a $350 million movie.
Yeah. She was technically classified as an independent contractor on the movie set, not an employee.
Wait, really? Because of her contract status?
Exactly. Under Title VII, to bring those specific federal workplace harassment claims, you have to be an employee. And since her loan-out company structured the deal business to business for, tax and liability reasons, the judge said she didn't have those federal protections.
That is wild. So by legally shielding her money, which is like standard industry practice for actors, she accidentally stripped herself of federal workplace harassment protections.
That is the exact blind spot the judge exposed. But to be fair, Lyman also completely threw out Baldoni's massive $400 million defamation suit. He gutted the heavy artillery from both sides.
Right. So by May 2026, the trial is looming, but neither side really has the leverage to secure a huge financial win against the other, which leads to them signing this $0 out-of-court settlement.
Which you would think is the end of the road.
But wait until you hear how they weaponized that settlement literally days later.
It is so strategic. The ink was barely dry on that $0 agreement before Lively's team went right back to court.
Yeah, they invoked this really specific piece of legislation in California. Civil Code Section 47.1. Our sources call it the Weaponized Defamation Lawsuits Act.
And this law is super interesting. It's designed specifically to protect survivors of sexual harassment from retaliatory defamation lawsuits that are meant to, intimidate and silence them.
Right, because historically, a powerful person gets accused, and their first move is to file a massive defamation suit just to bankrupt the accuser with lawyer fees.
Exactly. So Lively's legal team argued that Baldoni's dismissed $400 million suit was the absolute textbook definition of a retaliatory smear campaign.
So this is essentially like a couple getting a really bitter divorce, agreeing on who gets the house, but then the very next day going back to court to aggressively fight over who has to pay the lawyer bills.
That is a perfect way to put it.
Except, there are millions of dollars and their entire public reputations on the line here.
Hmm.
And Lively didn't just want her attorney fees covered, did she?
Oh, no, she went for the jugular. She wanted treble damages. So, triple the actual financial harm and punitive damages to severely punish Baldoni and Wayfair Studios.
Wow. So she's trying to financially gut them after the settlement is already signed. And if you are loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you are subscribed because we have got even crazier stories ahead.
Definitely hit subscribe, because Lively's aggressive move here led directly to a June 12, 2026 ruling by Judge Lyman. And this ruling is exactly why we ended up with the bizarre scenario where both of these Hollywood stars immediately took a public victory lap.
Yeah, both of them claiming they won. Let's break down this 47-page order. Lyman basically split the baby, right?
He really did. So on one hand, Lively was awarded her legal fees and costs. The judge ruled that Baldoni and Wayfarer failed to prove that Lively acted with malice when she originally made her misconduct complaints.
Okay, but I want to push back on that legal phrasing for a second. If the judge ruled there's no evidence of malice from Lively, doesn't that inherently mean she was telling the truth about the harassment?
That is the big PR spin, but legally, no, not exactly.
Really? How so?
Defamation law has a really high bar. The ruling doesn't officially validate the harassment claims as objective fact. It simply means Baldoni couldn't legally prove that Lively made the claims purely to maliciously destroy his reputation.
Got it. So it's a legal distinction. It just means her lawyers had enough of a basis that Baldoni couldn't prove she fabricated it out of thin air just to ruin him.
Exactly. It's not a definitive judgment on the absolute truth of what happened on set. But here is where things swing back in Baldoni's favor. Judge Lyman completely shut down Lively's demand for extra punitive and triple damages.
Right, the financial knockout blow she was looking for?
Yeah. He stated that the California law is a narrow exception to normal litigation. He said it does not create an end run around federal procedural rules to secure a massive financial payout.
So basically, if she wants those huge damages, she can't use this state law loophole. She has to file an entirely new independent federal lawsuit and prove her case from scratch.
Exactly. The judge essentially accused her legal team of trying to hack the federal court system to bypass the settlement.
So, Lively gets her legal bills paid, which, is probably millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But Baldoni avoids the catastrophic financial penalties that could have wiped out his studio.
And because neither side got a total knockout, the PR machines just went into absolute overdrive.
Oh, the spin on this is incredible. Lively's lawyers, Michael Gottlieb and Ezra Hudson, immediately put out statements declaring this a massive, sweeping win.
Right. They stated the ruling proves she brought her claims in good faith. They're basically validating her as the prevailing defendant and framing this as a path for survivors to hold attackers accountable.
Yeah, they really leaned into the social justice angle of the California law. But Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, fired back so fiercely.
He was not holding back at all.
Not even a little. He completely ignored the moral victory Lively claimed and just focused on the numbers. He highlighted to the press that Lively demanded over $300 million in fees and damages. Wow. And he pointed out that 10 of her 13 original claims were completely thrown out by the judge. And he hammered home that she had to settle the main dispute for literally $0.
It's masterful PR reframing. He explicitly stated she, quote, pivoted to exploit a California law and failed once again. He's maintaining that Baldoni's reputation was unfairly tarnished and there was never any harassment.
It's just wild. But later in the episode, well, actually right now, we have to talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming regarding Justin's next move. Because you cannot put a dollar amount on collateral damage to your reputation.
No, you really can't. And according to a fascinating report from TMZ, Brian Friedman actually suggests that, moving forward, Baldoni might step away from the camera.
Wait, really? Like quit acting?
At least for now. The report says he might pivot to become an advocate for the quote-unquote wrongfully accused who have been beaten up by lopsided power dynamics.
Okay, that is a huge pivot. So he wants to build a platform basically arguing that Lively used her A-list status and Ryan Reynolds' influence to try and steamroll him.
That's the implication. It's an incredible piece of crisis management. Instead of spending the next 5 years playing defense in interviews about the movie, he's actively taking the mantle of the victim.
Does anyone actually win a battle like this, though? I mean, the movie was a runaway hit, but it feels like the collateral damage to both of their reputations in the industry is something no court can issue a ruling on.
Absolutely. And I think that's the core takeaway here. This whole saga is just a masterclass in how high-profile legal battles are rarely about finding the absolute truth.
Right. It's not about truth. It's about leverage.
Yes. Leverage, PR endurance, and exploiting the granular details of state laws. It proves that in the entertainment industry, a settlement is often just a truce before the next battle.
It really is. It's just the starting gun for the spin campaign. And I want to leave you with something to really think about here. If Justin Baldoni actually pivots to creating a platform advocating for the wrongfully accused, how will the public react?
That is the million-dollar question.
Right. I mean, how will a post-Me Too Hollywood react to a celebrity turning a messy, highly publicized legal stalemate into a brand new career path? It is a massive gamble.
Huge gamble. And the public's verdict on that pivot is definitely something no judge can control.
We will absolutely be keeping our eyes on that one to see how it plays out. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.